Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, my lovely partner Vox. We're back into this next series, the losers brackets, round 2, I think, between Exordium and I think this is
Arcadios.
Arcadios. That's the other team, the new team. On the left side of the bracket, on the scoreboard, we do have Exordium, Cbren on Ruckus, Mikaela on Evie, KAdun on Pip, Donavan on Barrack, and Mayaro on Fernando. Who do we have on the other side, Vox?
Now, I'm going to request that we leave the scoreboard open just for a little while, as it might take a while to go through these names, as Arcadios do have some of the most difficult to pronounce player names I've seen in quite a while, and this is coming from somebody who lives in Wales, or has lived in Wales. So we have Yosucke on Pip, Rhydien on Barrack, ACDSISantanaxo on Buck, GodzPlayer on Ruckus, and Blitzbrunnen on Fernando. So we're going to be shortening a few of these names. If you're unfamiliar with them, we will be sure to repeat them in full a few times. And the initial point fight is breaking out. Slight advantage at the start to the side of Arcadios, but maybe going to be answered back by Exordium quite quickly here.
I tell you what, it's chaos right now, but it looks like Exordium starting to group up together as a team, and they're fighting inside this small room here, trying to pick up the Fernando and Buck as they go and push forwards on this one. Looks like Blitz is taken very low. Centaur goes down. Blitz also following shortly after. Mikaela does get picked up in the back by GodzPlayer, but at the cost of two of his teammates and point control right now, as Exordium starts to take the lead in this.
But they do have Barrack coming back in now, and that could be a way for Arcadios to get back in, but no, KAdun picking up a double kill on the backside there. Takes out Pip, takes out Ruckus, Rhydien answers back, but Cbren answers back. Wipes out Rhydien, and this is going to be point immediate to Exordium. There was a little bit of a point advantage at the start to Arcadios, but they lost the edge that they had initially because they focused on the point rather than focused on the play around the point. It's one of those things which we've noticed going through all these different weeks. Basically, point means death. You stand on point, you're a very easy target for the enemy team. You have to actually force the enemy team out and away from the capture point through kills or through just pure damage in order to be able to actually get time on it.
Look at this flank, though. Mikaela wiped out of the sky. Cbren pushes forwards onto GodzPlayer. It's a 1v1 Ruckus fight, but there's the Hexafire for GodzPlayer. He's looking to pick up a triple against Donavan. Doesn't manage to connect all the shots, but that's a double for himself. Rhydien picks up that second one. This flank has gone so well for the side of Arcadios. Exordium all split. Rhydien picks up a double onto Mayaro. They're trying to find Cbren and Mikaela as well as Buck is in the back line.
What an excellent defense coming out from Arcadios, right? Look where they've stuck it. They're going into spawn camp mode right now. They stuck the payload at the initial choke point, and whilst there was a Hexafire that came out there, and kills starting to head back in favor of Exordium, I mean, that's delayed them by pretty much half of the payload's runtime right now. You can see that KAdun has actually started to push up. It's going to be pushing the payload along the Clifftop's choke point, and actually with a lot of members of Arcadios stuck in that spawn camp area, now being picked off one by one, the payload's got quite a long way without being contested.
KAdun literally just walked that down the road, didn't even care about the rest of the players behind him. The team were clearing that up already, and they got really far
I think it was too nonchalant for a walk. I think he more went for a stroll right then, because there was absolutely no resistance until it was almost through the Clifftop choke point. And now it is through the Clifftop choke point, and there's nobody stopping it. Exordium just starting to batter through all of their enemies. Whilst the Mega Turret has gone down on the side of Arcadios, it's not enough to stop the payload. The payload's almost there, and Exordium, they're an unstoppable force that's just going to push straight on through.
And I don't even know where to look anymore. Buck is all the way in the back. There's two members dealing with him. They're pushing the payload up at the same time. Immortal does get dropped. There's the Snowstorm as well. Mayaro keeping the rest of the team alive. Double Chicken comes out. Buck jumps in. Does manage to pick up one. KAdun goes 1 for 1. Immortal dropped by the side of Arcadios as well, as they're trying to hold this payload right on the outside. 10 seconds left, but Blitz gets taken down. Mikaela is also dropped in this one. It's a 3v3. There's the Hexafire cancelled out by GodzPlayer, but Donavan and KAdun, they find the frags they need. 2v2 on the payload overtime. Ruckus trying to find the kill onto Donavan, but he gets taken out himself. KAdun going on a rampage. That's 3 kills on himself. That's a 4th kill, quadra kill for him. Trying to find the penta.
I just heard pentakill. I swear I heard the announcer shout out pentakill, and we'll check back on the scoreboard at the end of this match to see if that is correct, as multi-kills are now tracked. But it's overtime, it's neck and neck, and the Hexafire is coming out of Arcadios right now. That's a lot of damage coming through, but the payload is pushed to completion as they step away from that capture point for just a moment. 4 points to 0 do lead Exordium right now, and they are taking commanding control of this initial game.
If that wasn't a hexa kill, if that wasn't a pentakill earlier, it definitely was then. And if it was a hexa-kill earlier, then KAdun just picked up a hexa-kill.
If it was a hexa-kill, it's definitely a hexa-kill. Well, I can agree with that there. But it'll be interesting to see on that multi-kill area of the scoreboard and see maybe even a heptakill. But would that be the first hexa-kill that we've seen in competitive play so far?
That's the first hexa-kill.
I think it's the first pentakill that we'll have seen.
No? We saw Spunky pick up a hexa-kill during early days during that good old Reddit tournament.
Torpedo doesn't count.
NA and EU.
Torpedo doesn't count. But in this tournament at least. But look at this initial point control actually. Once again, Arcadios running this Buck and Fernando dive team, pushing out the members of Exordium quite well. There's a huge chicken coming through to answer back from Exordium though, but it doesn't last for particularly long as there are 5 resilience burn cards picked up on the side of Arcadios, and there's the counter chicken hitting it all. Was that all 4 or 5 members?
4 members counter chicken there, but no kills either way. There is so much damage going forwards, but no one's died. Donavan picks up a double with a turret. Finally, the mega turret cleans that up. It looks like Exordium going forwards in this one. I tell you what, the fights are so split here. I know we like to say it's NA Clown Fiesta, EU Conga, but this is feeling pretty much like an EU Clown Fiesta right now.
This is quite impressive. I mean, the capture point contested for just a second there, and now we can start to see the Conga coming through, right? You have Exordium holding down this capture point. You got Buck jumping in. You got players trying to make it one by one, and there's not enough time. They've got to get to the capture point. There's not enough time for them to sort of group up and mount this offense. But by going in one by one, they're only securing their defeat on this capture point. 6 points to 0 lead Exordium. And look at this. They're up in the base right now. God, oh my God. Look at this. Mayaro.
Ultimates all stacked up. Mikaela just going forwards, wiping them out. That's a double kill for him. Now KAdun on an 18 streak as Pip. Whew. There looks to be no stopping this team right now.
And that is pretty devastating. I want to point out that there are 4 Wrecker pickups picked up on the side, including on Fernando on the side of Exordium, which means that Fernando shield on the side of Arcadios is going to melt very, very quickly. Won't be lasting for long. And all the while, KAdun on this Pip, able to shoot from a long distance, arcing these shots over, just pushing the payload in, and we're coming up to the gate choke point at the base of Arcadios. Are they going to be able to mount a successful defense? Let's find out.
I don't think so. Ultimates are popped anyway. KAdun gets himself another kill. Santa gets shut down. No presents for you this Christmas. And
really?
Yeah.
Have you been saving that one?
I've been saving that one for a while. You know, ever since you got in.
I'll give you that. That was good.
I'd like to say I came up with that. Actually, I did come up with that on the spot. I thought of the Santa. I thought of the Santa beforehand.
I'll give you that.
Prepped. That was scripted, but the no presents this year, I'm gonna give myself that one, you know.
That's pretty nice on the fly work right there. Going into this 3rd point of the game currently. 8 points to 0 lead Exordium over Arcadios. Arcadios may actually elect just to give this one up and instead go to game 2, which will be on Temple Ruins, of course. They could try and contest the point here, but even if they get this next capture point, they're in an uphill battle as they do have to convert the payload, lest Exordium will win off that one successful defense. It's heavily stacked against them. And whilst we are in a brief stasis mode, let's take a quick look at all of the burn cards coming out. So the one thing I'm noticing on the side of Exordium is a lot of Nimbles. Well, you got 2 Nimbles at least. You got a Kronos on the side of Eevee. And why would you pick up Kronos on Eevee, title?
I mean, it's all about that ice block, just more and more. You jump in all the time, you're soaring all the time. Mikaela's just all over the place. There's no stopping him right now.
This is what's interesting right now. Now, Mikaela's running the specialty card Stand Still. So that's direct hits deal 18% additional damage, but whilst we're in another stasis mode, we can see that Reprieve 3 is also being run by Mikaela. So you regenerate 225 health every 1 second during Ice Block. So having that Ice Block up more often, as well as your escape abilities, means that you're healing more. You're able to continuously dish out all this damage and just keep yourself a bit more alive. So a different Eevee play style coming out for this particular player.
I was just looking at that card Reprieve, and I just opened it and thought to myself, oh, that's pretty cool, you know, like an old woman just in the igloo. Is that a woman or a man? I can't even tell anymore. I think it looks like he's got a beard or something, but...
It's a person. We're gonna go with it.
Just
We're gonna go with it's a person.
We'll
But at this point, the point fight is breaking out. Exordium pushing in heavily, dropping a lot of damage. But Rhydien getting the first kill. Is there a Hexafire coming through from somewhere? Didn't. I thought I heard the sound, but Exordium answering back strongly. The Fernando's got the shield. It's gonna be difficult to take him down. But the Cataclysm is good, isolating them. But up comes Pip over the top. There's the Hexafire coming out from the side of Arcadios, but it's not enough damage. The Ice Block immunes it, and Ruckus will fall. Mikaela netting a double kill in the end of that engagement, and the point capture advantage now going once again to Exordium. They're taking this one in a clean sweep. They're not letting any point control go in favor of Arcadios. And as long as the zone pressure is good, I think that the Arcadios won't make it back onto the point at all.
They managed to get on, however. That Iceblock doing some work, but there's a mega turret from Donavan. He picks up one. Cbren picks up another. 88 points, 90 points. The rest of the team flood on. They're trying to hold this one. Arcadios hanging on by an inch of their life, but pushed off on the last second. Blitz goes down. Arcadios taken out, and looks like Exordium going ahead in this best of 3 series in the first match.
That, folks, is about as one-sided as it gets. Now, let's check out the scoreboard before we go any further, because I want to see if that's a hexa kill. So I'm going to be seriously impressed.
I want to see it. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it.
Okay, we got the scoreboard. Multi-kill.
It was
7!
It was a
Heptakill! That's a heptakill!
Hepta? Isn't
Nope,
Hepta
Hepta 7. Hexakill for 6, Heptakill for 7, Octakill for 8. No Octakill yet, but that is
my maths.
That is... I'm speechless. I'm actually speechless. That's a 7 kill streak. So you're getting 1 kill within the next 4 seconds. You pick up another one, chained 7 times, only possible at the basically only possible through spawn camping, which is exactly what Exordium were doing when they're trying to push that payload through, because the respawns were coming through. They're coming through staggered. They're coming through in quick succession on the side of Arcadios, and just through those lucky last hits and all of the damage and outplay coming through from KAdun, he's able to pick up a heptakill and tops the damage charts as well with 55,000 in this very brief game, only lasting 10 minutes.
I wanted to dream. I wanted to dream that was a heptakill, but I just couldn't. I sat there and thought to myself, when you said that penta came out, I thought to myself, that was 2 kills ago, wasn't it? But no, I couldn't believe that someone could get 7 kills in a row like that. Like, seriously. Stacking them up just so well, and that game, honestly, for me, that game was just such a mess.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you though. It was heavily in Exordium's favor. I mean,
just such a mess, just because Exordium were just going to town.
It was like a pub game. So Arcadios just didn't. They had some of the coordinated attacks. I liked what they were doing. We saw Blitz and Santanaxo running around as the Fernando Buck backline disruption duo, but they didn't have the ability to actually lock down their own backline. So they saw the backline invades coming out, their own backline wiped out, and then all of a sudden an isolated Buck and Fernando with no team support to back them up. They haven't got enough damage to do a great deal of work there, especially not with no aggression left in the game, and they were wiped out one by one. You can even see that 0 kills on Blitz right there. And going into this Temple Ruins map, I really want to see something changing. I mean, I don't want to see the salty runbacks. We've said it before, we've got to have some change somewhere. And even though we might consider Fernando and Buck useful on this map, and especially for that payload defense, they just need a better point control team comp. So, Taddle, any thoughts as to what that might be? If
they salty run back this, Mikaela is going to go on a field trip.
Now, I just want to point out something. We saw Mikaela originally start with that Frigid Field build. Did you see what happened with the burn card pickups by any chance coming through out from Arcadios?
Did they switch to Resilience?
They picked up a full 5-man Resilience, if I'm not mistaken, at one point during the match, which means that Mikaela goes, well, that's great. You've spent 100 credits on Resilience across all of your players. I'll change my build. And all of a sudden, nobody cares about that card anymore. The only thing it affects is KAdun's chicken. It doesn't really matter. So great on-the-fly adaptation coming out from Mikaela there. But as we said, game 2 of this best of 3 set coming up in just a moment after this short break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this second game in the best of 3 series between Exordium and Arcadios. On the left side of your screen, we've got Arcadios making a few roster changes here and there. Yosucke still on that Pip, Rhydien changing up onto Barrick, Santanaxo is how it's really. If I don't want to go for Santa and just meme it up, it's Santanaxo. On Cassie, GodzPlayer on Ruckus, and Blitzbrunnen on that Fernando again. Who do we go have on the other side, Vox?
Oh, and Exordium, Mikaela's changed over to Androxus. Mayaro now running this Drugger's pick. KAdun on Pip. Cbren, no change on Ruckus, and Donavan still on Barrack. But we got 2 Wrecker pickups immediately on the side of Exordium. So it should be interesting to see how they'll fare against the double shield composition coming out of Rhydien and Blitz on the side of, I was going to say on the side of Arcadios, but immediately 1 kill, but answered back immediately by Santa as well. Santa on that Cassie going to start to do some work here. Kills potentially coming back in the other way. Let's see how it plays out.
I mean, Santa gives gifts to everyone, takes them away as well. GodzPlayer does find one on his own to equal things out, but Mikaela's just going off. He picks a double kill. GodzPlayer trying to do what he can against him, but he's going to be forced back. Nice expectorate damage coming through as well. Santa drops the blast shower onto the point, does force them away for a few seconds, but the rest of Exordium starting to funnel in. Respawns coming through, trying to get back to this point. No kills either way. It looks like we might come down to a 5v5 once more.
Well, I like this so far from Arcadios. They've actually taken some initial point cap, and that means that even if they get wiped now, there is comeback potential. But the longer this goes on, the more that Exordium can just tick up piece by piece, the harder it'll be to come back. Really, it comes down to, I think we might see an ultimate actually coming out of somebody right now. Santanaxo does have ultimate available, but it's not the most useful one available. But, I mean, KAdun and Cbren picking up kills there, that's going to wipe out 2 players on the side of Arcadios, and just the man advantage is in favor of Exordium right now. It's going to be difficult to come back from this, but they're holding briefly.
It's 2-2. The chicken doesn't get blocked by Blitz, and that goes through. Santa has to run, gets picked up. Blitz and GodzPlayer, the last one. Point blank Dragon Punch.
I mean,
that has got to hurt.
If you know that Fernando's shield is down, or if you know that Fernando's got shield up and you know that his dash is down, you can afford to do that, as Fernando literally can't maneuver out of the way fast enough to avoid it. And a Hexafire comes through. GodzPlayer actually picks up a double kill, and the objective this time going to Arcadios. So perhaps this turns out to be Arcadios' map, as wow, look at that. Yosucke picking up another kill onto Mikaela right there, and the payload starting to push its way out of the spawn towards the base of Exordium. Complete turnaround.
Cursed Arm came through right there to pick up the Hexafiring Ruckus, but doesn't kill him completely. Takes a few seconds to take that down, and in the end, point actually goes to Arcadios during the whole mess that happened there. And you know, you were saying that I think this composition's a bit of styling going on by Exordium, and if it is, then this is really backfiring on them at the moment. Mikaela does pick up Yosucke, and they're going to be able to try and hold them here at a very far forward choke point right now with the respawns coming through. But as I said, so close that the respawns are coming through very fast. GodzPlayer finds one. He does get traded, but that's going to be a man disadvantage for a while until the respawns come out.
Mikaela once again picking up a double kill. Whenever they go in, they will pick up that double kill. Santanaxo answering back. Yosuke, Mikaela with a triple kill on the backside, just completely uncontested. Gonna get, might be able to pick up the pip here, but is currently chicken, taking a lot of damage, goes up into the air. A cursed arm ready to fire? No, just looks to shoot from a distance. And whilst there is a Hexafire now from Cbren, I mean, it's just kills going back either way, and there's no real way to push the payload through. I don't think that Exordium are going to let this blockade break down. They are in close proximity to their base, so they can get back and stall the payload here. And I don't think that Arcadios really pushed out enough at the beginning of the match in order to best capitalize on their early point control win.
Mega turret does get dropped, and that's just going to snipe Mikaela out of the air. He was directly above it. That's not going to work, mate. He gets taken down. They're trying to push this payload through, but they're just trying to go all the time straight through. They're not flanking at all. Meanwhile, Exordium themselves flank around the side. KAdun picks up Yosucke on the background. He finds that kill. Now being chased down by Blitz, trying to survive through that. The teammates around him getting into position to help him out. Payload inching forwards just slightly once again, but again, it's just going to get held off in this choke point. Santa tries to get the shot. Donavan with a shot and snipe takes him out. Double kill for Donavan, in fact. And actually, does he have a turret just around the corner or something?
May well do. There's 5 seconds left on the clock. This one's going to overtime if members of Arcadios can get there in time, but the defense will be successful. Arcadios unable to close the gap and indeed close the payload all the way to the conversion point, and instead the points will lead 2-1 in their favor. Next capture point spawning in 20 seconds. Let's check out the burn cards before we go any further. I'm noticing, Master Rhydings on the side of Arcadios. That's interesting, and not a strategy that we've seen coming out for a little while there. A lot of blast shields, a couple of records, but I think
that will work actually pretty well. If you think about it, they're trying to just get to the point faster, but they're not trying to get to the point as fast as they can. They're trying to get into the team as fast as they can. If they can get into the face of Exordium before they can use this range to their advantage, then this is going to go in the favor of Arcadios.
Well, you say that, but initial point control once again going in favor of Arcadios. They do dive straight down there. But now Arcadios under a lot of fire. Dragos takes to the air. Maybe Dragon Punch is available. It's going to go in. Who's he going to find? Nobody. Dives straight past Fernando there and now puts himself in a very awkward position. Trapped 1 versus 2, but the chicken is enough to save them. And now Arcadios under heavy fire.
Mega turret dropped as well by Donavan. That picks up 1 kill. Salvo comes through. Yosucke goes down as well. And that's the point control going back in the favor of our Exordium. Just playing around their team comp a lot better. Playing together a lot better in this fight. Splitting up, but at the same time, whilst they are split, they're coordinating with each other, supporting each other, and getting the kills that they need to.
They're playing from range, which I think is the most important thing. They're not going so much for the up-close and personal team fights, except right now as Blitz on this Fernando is going to contest the point for a few seconds, buying time for the team to come through. There's a Hexafire coming out on the side of... Good grief, that was on the side of GodzPlayer, but it's not quite enough. Answer back with a Hexafire on the side of Cbren right there, getting wiped off the face of the earth. And while Santanaxo is still available, there comes a Dragon Punch going in deep, completely off the mark, is that Drogos Dragon Punch answering back with a death for their transgressions. And now it's once again, it's Arcadios with point control.
Arcadios getting back the point control, but look at this Barak 1v1. What even is this that I'm witnessing right now? Does look like the side of Exordium are going to have to back off as the rest of Arcadios do get there first in this one. But the chicken gets dropped. That's dropped straight onto 3, but there's no return. The rest of the team aren't in position yet. Counter chicken way too early, doesn't find any kills. Point is at 89 to both sides right now. They just need to get on it. Mikaela goes in. He picks up 1. He's looking for the reflect for a second. Barricaded out. Finds Rhydien in the second. KAdun picks up 1 of his own. And that's the point going to Exordium.
What a comeback right there. I really thought that was going to the side of Arcadios. And even though Arcadios do end up dropping the Mega Turret, that's all it's going to do. It targets out Mayaro in midair, leaving the rest of the team free to kind of work around it. Because, of course, those Mega Turret shots do deal splash damage. If it hits a group of you, you're all in a lot of trouble. But isolated on 1 target in the air means it's less effective than it otherwise would be. And now Exordium, playing unlike Arcadios, push out far ahead of their siege engine, looking to make space so somebody can escort it slowly but surely along behind them in this gap that's being created. It's going to push up to this primary gate choke point in just a second, where we've seen many teams flounder and stall previously. And let's find out if Exordium have the metal to push it all the way through, or if they're going to be held back here by Arcadios as well.
Blitz managed to find KAdun as well inside their own base, being way too aggressive there. The rest of the team just dealing damage from afar. Payload stalled out right now just as the entrance of the gate, as Mikaela and Mayaro, they find Rhydien in the back.
The damage is good, potentially not good enough as there are a lot of members. There's a Mega Turret, however, popped by Donavan there. It's going to dish out a lot of damage, but I think most of it is actually going to be shielded. Indeed, Blitz sitting there with the Fernando shield, able to suck up all that Mega Turret damage. There's an accursed arm from behind. It's dropping down shots. KAdun picks up a double kill on the side of Exordium. This opens up the opportunity for the payload to be pushed in as Fernando forced to retreat in a lot of trouble here. And all of Arcadios falling 1 by 1 by 1 as the payload gets further and further to completion. Hexafire denied by Cbren, and that's almost converted.
Almost the conversion, but a great chicken comes through there. Mayaro picked up a double kill. Does get chickened out. Can't quite find the triple kill.
Look how close it is. Look how close it is. Fernando there. Just at the last moment, there's the Hexafire coming through on the side of Exordium right there. There's a Dragon Punch as well that comes through. Misses, doesn't actually get picked up. Then Mayaro are going to fall to Rhydien here. And this defense is looking like it's going to hold. There's 1 player left. Oh no, 2 players left rather, as KAdun up on the top side raining down hell is still alive. But that defense is going to go through if the payload can back off from the conversion point. But there's still overtime to go through. The respawns are coming and they're not far behind.
Yeah, indeed. 15 seconds left remaining on this one. The rest of Exordium starting to get in position for this final push. They get in. There goes Ruckus and the Androxus as well. Cursed Arm gets dropped. It also picks up Cbren. No kills from the Cursed Arm just yet. Mikaela finds Blitz. Chicken comes out. And
Mikaela
Santa is raining from the side. Ho, ho, ho. He picks up 1. KAdun picks up double, though. There's the chicken. There's the Mega Turret coming down as well. Finds that triple kill for KAdun.
Pushed to completion is that payload. Exordium now leading 5 points to 2. over Arcadios, and what a comeback, because we saw Arcadios originally take that point with a lot of point control, and then once again almost captured that second capture point, but Exordium seemed to be working them out piece by piece as this game proceeds. And as we take a look at Burncast before we go any further, any primary differences here that you think might be giving Exordium the edge? And look at that, we've got a 5-man pickup of what is that? Is that veteran I'm seeing there? Or?
I think that's veteran.
So, Veteran, for those who are unfamiliar, grants you additional % healing of your maximum health whilst you're out of combat. It means that it assists your out of combat regeneration and allows you, once you break that combat, to heal up a lot faster than you otherwise would be able to and get back into the fight sooner than you otherwise would be able to. We saw it picked up a lot on Buck a few patches back, where Buck could jump out of a fight for 3 seconds or so, heal up most of his health, jump back in at full health again, and it was very, very effective. But initial point control, once again, going in favor of Arcadios.
Yeah, going in their favor right now. Megatar is dropped, and that's going to just snipe Mayaro out of the air. He just got shot down right there. The rest of Exordium trying to get around the side. Mikaela and Donavan do pick up some kills. Santanaxo gets down. Cbren. Chicken comes out onto the side of...
That came out from Cade. Did that come out from Cade?
Arcadios. I don't know how I forgot that.
Oh. Interesting, but now Arcadios once again sitting on the point. No, not sitting on the point, as they've all been forced out and forced away. It's KAdun who's sat on the point here, capturing it for their team as the rest push out to zone. And now GodzPlayer maybe pops the Hexa kill. No, just goes to the dual fire. But they need to focus on the capture point right now. It's ticking further and further across in the favor of Exordium as time goes by. And Arcadios, they're nowhere near it to contest. Now comes the Fernando run from the back, but they have to back onto this point. That's foremost to meet, but a huge chicken and a Hexa fire from above. GodzPlayer not going to find any kills from that at all. In fact, going to be poked by Pip on the backside, but point control back in favor of Arcadios. Can they hold it for long enough? It's a lot of damage coming out. There's the accursed Dharma. It's going to wipe Blitz off the point. Mikaela converting that point into a successful capture for their team with that ultimate, I'd say.
Mega turret with the from Donavan as well. Picks up Rhydien, wipes him out of the game for a while, as they're going to look to try and push this one forwards, trying to find the kills as they go forwards with this payload. Very aggressive right now. Gets GodzPlayer. Santa goes down as well. It looks like the side of Arcadios is going to be forced to hold this very far back.
And right at the end there, we just saw that ultimate coordination come out nicely, which is what Exordium did on the previous capture point as well, enabling them to just gain that last-minute edge for the last few vital seconds required to capture the point. Up until then, it could have gone either way. In fact, it was in Arcadios' favor for the longest time. And Arcadios now looking to defend once again, being pushed heavily as members are coming right to the base. There's a Hexafire coming out as well. Hold that thought, as Cbren is on a rampage right now, just tearing through enemies, but no credits picked up to their name. Forced to hover away. Nope, picked up by GodzPlayer there. Payload about to reach the major choke point, but I mean, something's got to change for Arcadios here. They keep on losing these capture point fights off the by the skin of their teeth, it seems.
I love that Barrack. We just saw the 3 oops spam come out from Barrack as he's right behind the team on his own, not inside the base. Payload gets pushed in. Rhydien gets taken down. Donavan picking that one up. Santa still trying to get the shots on from above. Does find a double kill onto Mikaela. Immortals pop to keep Blitz alive on this payload. Looks like it's going to start to roll forwards. Huge chicken comes out onto 3 members. The rest of the team pushing forwards, trying to get the kills in return. But it's Donavan who goes down first. Rhydien just charges forwards, picks up KAdun, waddles his way forwards and gets that one. Looks like Mayaro up in the air now. Last one left. He gets taken down. Rhydien picking that one up, and the attack from Exordium being halted.
But here's really the issue. Once again, we're seeing Exordium. There's 20 seconds left, or 25 seconds left of the timer, but they've been filtering in one by one again. We're not seeing the coordinated push or the pincer maneuver, which we've seen from other teams. And as the payload is actually pushed a little bit there by KAdun, I mean, it's halted once again by this Fernando pick, who's impossible to take down without coordination. As Donavan picks up Santanaxo, it means that there's an opening there. Dragon Punch goes through, does miss, but this provides push opportunity as Blitz could be brought very low. Mega Turret popped by Donavan there, actually picks up Blitz and firing to shots onto GodzPlayer up in the air. This payload's going to be pushed to completion. Right at the end, it's the ultimate coordination coming out of Exordium, which net them with a win, and that is game 2 going to Exordium in this best of 3 set.
They will take that second game and move forward into the next round, knocking out the side of Arcadios from this week. Of course, sadly, This is the last week. I mean, I got those feels, man. We're coming up to playoffs. This is the last week, and we're saying goodbye to teams for the final time. Sadly, as actually a new team gets knocked out right there with Arcadios, as Exordium move forwards up against Fate in the next game as they look for the Cinderella.
Excuse me, they're up against Team coming through into the losers bracket round 4, the winner of which will proceed to Fate Esports into the finals. But to Arcadios, we do say GG. Thank you very much for attending and playing. And whilst this is the last week of this qualifying season tournament, we expect after DreamHack regular weekly open bracket tournaments to start back up again for each regions. So don't be too discouraged. Keep on playing and you may well make it through to the finals of another season. Earn yourself some crystals and keep on playing this game that you enjoy. But well played, Exordium. We're going to break down the scoreboard before we go any further. And it was honestly closer than I expected after the dominant display which Exordium had in Game 1. There was a lot of point control coming out from Arcadios. They just didn't manage to clutch it. And what do you think gave Exordium the edge on that point control?
I think it was just the coordination with ultimates that just came through in the end. I mean, they had Santanaxo was doing a lot of damage for his team, really pulling it through on that carry roll with the Cassie there, but just not enough base damage, especially when with the Cassie you don't have that playmaking ultimate as well. Your playmaking is just in your actual team, in your actual kit and playing around the rest of your team. So without the combo that they had going through, I mean, they don't have an Eevee freeze. The only real combo they're looking at is the Hexafire Chicken, whereas on the side of Exordium, when it comes to the playmaking turns, they've got Accursed Arm, Hexafire, Chicken, Dragon Punch. All of these playmaking abilities that just push them forwards in the last second to make those fights happen.
And we can't forget about Mega Turret, because I swear Donavan won 3 points in a row, whether it was capture or conversion off that Mega Turret, dishing out 55,000 damage, shielding 108,000. Very impressive for a 15-minute long game, and ending the game as the I'd say Donavan is my MVP for this particular set of games with 13, 8, and 18, just for the amount of protection they offered for their team. Please don't disregard Mikaela, however, as Mikaela netting a 23 to 8 KDR right there. That's impressive work. But that will be all she wrote for this particular set, as Exordium do advance to face off against Team coming up in losers round 4 after this short break.